Okay, so have you seen those headlines?
Yeah.
You know, the ones about the secret space plane and that maneuver. Like, what is that all about?
People use the word revolutionary a lot, but
Right.
this time it might actually fit.
That's what we're going to try and figure out right here, right now. We're going deep on the X-37B space plane. I mean, this thing is so secret. I'm surprised we even know it exists.
You and me both.
We're working from this article. It's called, "In a Rare Disclosure, the Pentagon Provides an Update on the X-37B Spaceplane." And let me tell you, even with the Pentagon giving us a little something, there are more questions than answers. But yeah, that's what makes it fun to dig into, right?
That's what we're here for. So
Right.
to bring everyone up to speed, X-37B launched last December. Another classified mission, they tell us it's testing new technologies, but...
Yeah, testing new technologies could mean almost anything.
Exactly. But this time around, there are two big clues. One, it's in a really weird orbit, super elliptical, nothing typical about it. Two, it made that orbit change using something called aerobraking.
And aerobraking, for those of us who don't speak fluent space flight, is...
Okay, so you know how in Star Trek they just hit the warp drive and go?
It's a classic.
This isn't that. Aerobraking is more like, imagine if you could steer a spaceship by just dipping it into the atmosphere, using the air itself to slow down or change direction.
You're saying it's using friction, like from the air?
Basically. But we're talking the very upper edges of the atmosphere, super thin air.
Okay, so this isn't like re-entry firing.
No, nothing like that. But even that little bit of drag at those speeds can make a big difference. And the best part, it barely uses any fuel.
So we're talking efficiency here. And when you've got a vehicle as secretive and potentially as capable as the X-37B, I'm guessing efficiency is kind of a big deal.
Huge deal. Think about it. More time and space, more flexibility, less chance of being spotted while they, do whatever it is they're doing up there.
Okay, so aerobraking, super efficient, slightly spooky.
Yeah.
I am on board so far. But this article also mentions something about space junk. What's the connection there?
Right. So in this particular case, the X-37V used aerobraking to deorbit its service module.
The what now? In English, please.
Sorry. Basically, it's a big chunk of equipment the spaceplane doesn't need anymore. Instead of just letting it float around up there, becoming more space junk, they used aerobraking to guide it down into the atmosphere where it burned up.
Responsible, right?
Very eco-friendly. Space Force, keeping it tidy. But let's be real here. This isn't just about saving fuel or taking out the space trash. This is the Space Force we're talking about. And they're not known for being super open about, well, anything.
Exactly. The Space Force is playing their cards pretty close to the chest on this one. But like you said, this isn't just about being eco-friendly space janitors, this maneuver, this tech. It's all part of a bigger strategy, right?
Right. And the Space Force has actually been surprisingly open about one part of it. Orbital mobility.
Okay, orbital mobility, for those of us who don't speak fluent military jargon.
It basically means being able to move around in space. But like, for real. Not just stuck in one orbit, but being able to change things up, move quickly, reposition.
So kind of like how in dogfights, they're always maneuvering for an advantage. This is that, but in space?
Exactly. And when you add aerobraking into the mix, suddenly you're not limited by how much fuel you can carry. You can dodge, weave, change altitude. Imagine what that does for your strategic options.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. And it's a little unnerving, not going to lie. We're talking about a space plane that can basically teleport around Earth, carrying who knows what. Am I wrong to be getting some Cold War vibes from all of this?
No, it's definitely a two-sided coin. On the one hand, this kind of maneuverability could be huge for keeping space safe,
Yeah.
dodging debris, monitoring for threats, stuff like that.
But on the other hand?
On the other hand, it makes the whole arms race in space thing a lot more real. And that's not a conversation anyone wants to be having.
Agreed. And the article actually touches on that a little bit, talking about how this technology could blur the lines between different military domains. I'm not sure I totally followed that part. What do they mean, blur the lines?
Okay, so think about it this way. You've got your traditional battlefields, right? Land, sea, air, clear cut.
You'd think so, yeah.
But the X-37B, what is it? It takes off like a rocket, it lands like a plane, but it spends most of its time up in orbit acting like a, spacecraft.
So which is it? It's all of them and none of them at the same time.
Exactly. And for the military, that's a huge deal. How do you track it? What do you track it with? How do you even begin to defend against something that breaks all the rules?
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see the problem.
Yeah.
It's like trying to use a radar system designed for jets, but on a UFO. Totally different beast.
And it's not just about the X-37B itself. Remember that bit in the article about it potentially launching smaller satellites?
Oh yeah, that was pretty wild. Are we talking like those little CubeSats everyone's making such a fuss about?
Those are the ones. Tiny, cheap, but surprisingly powerful.
So it's not just that the X-37B is hard to track. It can act like this sneaky mothership, popping out little mini spies all over the place.
Think about the possibilities. Need eyes on a specific spot? Deploy a couple of CubeSats? Need to relay a message? Boom, instant satellite network.
And because of aerobraking, you can put them exactly where you need them, without wasting a drop of fuel.
It's a game changer. Though whether it's a game we want to be playing, that's a whole other question.
Okay, so let's talk about that question then. Because, yeah, on the one hand, this is incredible technology, more efficient spaceflight, better Earth observation, maybe even faster internet for everyone, who knows?
Right, the potential benefits are huge.
But you've also got the potential for misuse, a lot of misuse. And that's not even getting into the whole weaponizing space thing, which nobody wants.
It's the classic dilemma, isn't it? We create these incredible tools, but it's what we do with them that really matters.
And in this case, the what we do part is still being figured out, which is exciting and a little bit terrifying.
A healthy dose of both, I'd say. That's technology for you.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave it for today. We've gone from a mysterious headline to the future of warfare, all thanks to one space plane.
They're never a dull moment.
That's for sure. So for everyone listening, if your head is spinning a little bit, trust me, mine too. The big takeaway here is this. Keep asking questions. The X-37B is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle, a puzzle we're all trying to solve together.
And who knows what amazing or maybe slightly alarming discoveries we'll uncover along the way.
That's the fun of it, I guess. So until next time, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you in the next one.